They go, what do you mean the Bible? I says, what do you mean the Bible? It's the book, man. Okay, hold on. You in the dark? Here we go. The guardian of diplomacy said, let there be light. Okay. You remember Dune, the movie Dune, the guy, and they run around the desert, they see all the problems, they try to fix everything. It says, Moab, Moab. Dune, man, the movie, okay? There's some real life stuff to that, okay? You know, so we're gonna help everybody out, huh? Yeah, man. Okay. You know, did you ever know about the one nation educating? That's one with the 5 books of the Bible. It's a nation of priests, man, like a nation of God, walking Christ everywhere, man. It said, AR, Angel Reserve, N, Intelligent Nation. Moab is ruined, you know? Moab's ruined, man. You see? The Moors, the people who wanted more, give me more, give me more, give me more and more, and didn't want to put any resources back. Atomic bomb, you know, they start a war and drop atomic bomb, and the intelligence services, because of the brain defects, was ruined. They destroyed in one night. You know, they were roaming around in the desert, warring over the little resources they had left, and they just started blowing each other up. And they said, man, then there wasn't any resources because they blew each other up with bombs. And it says, wow, Kir in Moab is ruined. You know, they're talking to the Captain Kirk, man. They say, hey, Captain Kirk, you know, those intelligence resources, intelligent nations, you know, the Moors, atomic bombs, you know, intelligence services, ruined, man. Everything's ruined, man. Education, everything, because they're so retarded with the brain defects afterwards, you know. And it says they tried all kinds of science projects, but you know what? We said education, man. We're gonna fix it with education. This is it's impossible. I said, watch me. It said, man, you ever see a thing? It says, hold my bear, my Smoky Mountain bear. It says, don't start forest fires, man. We need the trees. We need more forest and grass and crops and resources. And it says, well, we're gonna do it with education, huh? And it says, every head is shaved. You see? Yeah, I skipped. This is, you don't even need to see. The bone, you see, goes up to his temple, you know, to his temple, to its high places, the weed, more whales over in the bow and the, you know, just take a 2, you know. That's a big number 2 for TP. You just leave that one right on out, and you skip over and you say, every head is shaved, and you go, why? Every head shaved, and every beard cut off, why? In the streets, they wear sackcloth, like a potato sack, hopping around, you know, like a couch potato, trying to go from couch to couch and movie to movie and scene to scene to try and figure out what those aliens and angels left behind for the future so we could fix all this. And it says, on the roofs and in the public squares, they all wail, prostrate with weeping. It says, man, let's see what we got. Well, we got our jet engines, and we also have helicopter engines. But just like you have blades, what's that sound like? Like a cop car, right? You know, citizens on patrol, you know? Wisdom, okay? Of peoples, you know? Christ of peoples, you know? Of all peoples, you see? And I said, man, what do you do with this? Well, they got a combustion engine, but they don't know about the natural state of things. They only know about combustion and bombs because they were a people of war. You know, they know about the intake. They know about the compression and the stress and the arguments. And they know about the explosive ways, you know, without diplomacy to get things going. And all they do is cause fire, you know, and it's the exhaust. But, you know, if they knew about the ancient Aramaic, you know, the Indian alien language, they said you let in a little fresh air, okay, the cold section, it kind of cools stuff off, you know, because of the compressions. And then you go, well, we got a combustion chamber here, and it's a hot section. But with a turbine, you know. That's why the desert people, they're wearing turbans and say, hey, man, we're wearing turbans, man. Okay, because we're trying to figure out how to make proper stuff, you know, with the aliens, Indians, you know, angels and Indians, you know, aliens and Indians, okay? We don't know, but we're going to work it out, you know. And says then we can maybe get a better exhaust. So we made a space program. We started making rockets and shuttles, man. And like instead of bombs. So he says, man, everybody got a little sideways. So what we do is we got to straighten up, man. Stand up tall, man. You know? And they go, well, pretend it's a helicopter engine. And here's the exhaust, you know? Well, if you have the exhaust come out underneath, you know, where the vents are, you see a helicopter blades going in, they're taking in the, you know, and like, or maybe they're taking in here and putting out, you know, heat. It's a lot of heat, man. So they're taking it. Well, now we got the blades coming down, and it kind of cool it, you know, cool the engines, you know, and so they got the hotter, you know, more, you know, dense, you know, less dense, you know, spread apart air, not a whole lot of thick, you know, so there's no humidity in that cooling the engines, you know. So that's why they got to watch the heat of the engine stuff, man. And they use a lot of fuel, man. And it's a wet fuel because they can't burn all the fuel because it causes too much heat. So they waste a lot of fuel too, you know. So it's inefficient, you know. And they go, man, how's this little kid know about all this stuff, man? I says, man, you talk to God? Here. You know, God loves you, you know. That's not an L for loser. It's an L for love, man. Okay? So he said, we got a helicopter blades, okay? What we're going to do with it, you know? I says, well, let me get you in the right perspective. Jesus said, turn the whole world upside down, okay? So, now, we got our music, okay? On our music stand. Now, what we got to do is we got to look at it. And now we see the exhaust is going where? Where is it going? It's coming out the bottom, right? Oh no, I flipped it the wrong way. My bad. Okay, now we're upside down. We'll give everybody a clean slate, huh? Okay, here we go. Okay, now your exhaust is coming out the right way. Now they look at this and most engineers go, we gotta have thicker air underneath this helicopter blades. Because, you know, if we got a thicker air underneath the helicopter blades, then we get more lift. But if we got hot air coming out underneath the blades, man, it's going to be hard for the helicopter to fly, you know? And you got to think about mixtures. Just like your fuel mixture, you got to think about your air mixture, you know? Your heat, and don't forget the thicker air, mixing like a little blender, man. Now, what happens when hot air meets cold air? People, come on, it's simple common sense. When hot air meets cold air, it causes humidity, you know? Because the chemical change in the structure of the particles and the atomic structures of this stuff just mixing like really fast, you know. Plus you're chopping it up like a blender, man, you know. So now we get a little water in there, you know, and you look at Mars and go, man, look at all that rust, man. Oh, because of crashes stuff, you know. Okay, now we go, wait, it's because of sand, you know, get dirty. Now you're putting mud into the engine, you know. So now we're mudslinging, you know. So say all this mudslinging, instead of trading the ideas and doing the right technology, we're just slinging mud at each other in our engines and everything, man. And then it crashed and say, well, blame it on them. Somebody shot it down. No, it crashed, man, because of bad engineering. So we go, well, the heat come out underneath, right? Well, maybe, you know, if you had the heat coming out, you know, here with the blades, right? Now pay attention. This is very important. You had the heat coming out here near the blades, right? Heat coming out near the blades. It make the air easier for the blades to travel through. Also, it make it easier for the blades to collect the heat and compress it into the blade structure and outside, way away from the helicopter. Boom, you know? Now what's that cause? Well, you're slinging heat on a timeline, you know? Blades. Now you're causing ripples in space and time, okay? So you're stirring it up. You're creating a hurricane force and a tornado force all at the same time. And you got a new ocean that you're surfacing to like a submarine, but with a helicopter, you know? So you got your blades going. It's sucking the heat out away from the thing. And then plus, you know, I got a little heat from up here, but not a lot from like the engine, you know. It's the heat from the regular heat. You mix it with a thicker air. It cools the air. You put cool air into here, right? Plus, it's thicker air now that it's not hot. So the sand try to come up, it blow the sand away from the engine, and the engine doesn't take so much sand into the air intake, okay? Now that's natural filtration using the natural structure of the atomic, structure of the air particles around the engine, and then you save money on the filters you need to keep the sand out of the engine. You see what I mean? There's stuff like this that most people don't look at it like that, but that's why you gotta have this space navy, man, a space force, okay? You see? Build hopeful nations, okay? Together. Rocket launches, man. You want to buy a rocket? We could be building spaceships, man.